and play and learn new things each day. Hi.
Hello everyone. Hope you all are good and safe at home. Welcome back to the educational channel. Dear students, today we are going to learn another very important English grammar topic. Can you guess it? It is just like a backbone of the sentence. I will give one more clue. It is one of the main parts of speech. Can you guess it? Yes, that is verbs. So, verb is a very important parts of speech from 8 parts of speech. Is it? How many parts of speech are there? There are 8 main parts of speech in English language. In that main parts of speech, that is verbs. So today we are going to learn all about verbs. So in this video we will understand what is a verb and kinds of verbs. So without further delay, let's get started. Do you know children what exactly is a verb? What is a verb? Of course, you know a verb is a word which expresses an action or state of being or having. Shortly, we can say a verb is an action word. Is it? It is the main part of the sentence. A verb makes a sentence complete. So, without a verb, we cannot make a sentence. We cannot make a complete sentence. So, the verb is an action word. Then, whose action it can express? Do you know, children? Yes, that is subject or doer. Subject or doer. The verb tells us two things about the subject. First one, an action or activity performed by the subject. And one more thing, it can express a state of being of the subject. Here, state of being means condition. In Kannada we can say ಸ್ಥಿತಿ. ಇರುವ ಸ್ಥಿತಿ, ಒಂದು ವಸ್ತು ಅಥವಾ ವಿಷಯದ ಇರುವ ಸ್ಥಿತಿಯನ್ನು ತೋರಿಸುತ್ತೆ. Is it? So here the situation of the subject or condition of the subject it can express. So mainly the verb tells us two things about the subject. One is an action and another one is state of being of the subject. Is it clear? Now let me give you some examples of the action. How it can express. Here look at the words write, run, jump, come, read. These words are verbs. These words can express action of the subject. The action can be physically or mentally. They can express the action of the subject. And next look at here. Is, am, are, was, were, feels, states, looks, seems. These words are also called verbs because these words are expressed a state of being of the subject. Is it clear? So now I will give one example sentence. Look at here. Students read a book regularly. Here the subject is students. Is it? The action performed by the subject. What that is? what is the action performed by the subject? Yes, that is reading. So here read is verb. It is action word. It is called verb. And one more example, look at here. Ram is a boy. Here Ram is a boy. What is the state of boy? What is the state of Ram? So here is defines the state of the subject. The Ram is whether a boy or girl. Is it? In Kannada we can say Rama huduga idane irudu. Is it? Look at here one more example. She feels happy today. Here, what is the state of girl? What is the condition of the girl? That is feeling happy. She is feeling happy. So in Kannada we can say ಇವತ್ತು ಅವಳು ಸಂತೋಷವಾಗಿದ್ದಾಳೆ. Here ಇದ್ದಾಳೆ feeling feels. It is a verb which shows a state of being or situation or condition of the subject. See? So here feels, states, looks, seems, is, am are verbs which shows a state of being. One more examples. Who am I? I am teacher. ನಾನು ಶಿಕ್ಷಕಿ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. So here am is showing the state of being of the subject. Is it? So here am is a verb. Is it clear? So remember children, verb indicates action of the subject or a state of being of the subject. Is it clear? Okay, now let us know kinds of verbs. Look at here. You can see the chart of kinds of verbs. In English language, there are different kinds of verbs, but mainly verbs are categorized into two groups. Look at here. First one is finite verbs and second one is non-finite verbs. In finite verbs, there are three types of verbs. Look at here. First one, action verbs, also called as principal verbs or main verbs or lexical verbs. Is it? And second one, linking verbs. And third one, helping verbs, also called as auxiliary verbs. Helping verbs or auxiliary verbs. In helping verbs, also divided into two types, that is primary auxiliaries and second one modal auxiliaries. In action verbs also divided into two types. First one transitive verbs and second one intransitive verbs. And here you can see regular verbs and irregular verbs also comes under an action verbs. Comes under the action verbs when they change into the past form. When the verbs change into the past form, and also we can divide as regular verbs or irregular verbs. So this is one group of the verbs, various types of verbs. And second one, non-finite verbs. Here in this there are three types of verbs. Look at here: infinitives, participles and gerunds. So only three types of verbs comes under non-finite verbs. So this is a chart of kinds of verbs. So children, don't be confused. These are very easy to understand. Each of these very easy to understand. So we will discuss these in detail one by one. Okay children, are you ready? First one, kinds of verbs, that is finite verbs. What is a finite verb? A finite verb that has agreement with subject. Sorry for spelling mistake, make it yes. S-U-B-J-E-C-T, subject. It changes according to tense, person and number. Which action word has agreement with the subject? Means here which verb agrees with the subject and it can change according to tense, person, number. That action word is called finite verb. How? Look at the example. First one example, I drink milk every day. Which tense it is? This is simple present tense. Drink. Here first person I and drink, it is a base verb V1. And here second one sentence, I drank milk yesterday. The word drink, the verb drink has changed into past form here. This is simple past tense. So here which action verb has changed according to the tense, that verb is called finite verb. Is it clear? Next we will see according to the person how it can change. Look at here. First one example, I read newspaper daily. And second one, she reads newspaper daily. Here, observe here in the sentence subject, I is a first person. So total how many persons are there? Three types of person. First person, second person, third person. Is it? Here I is a first person. Read is become, it is verb. It is V1. And here second one sentence, she is a third person. The verb read has changed. The word read has taken yes. Why? It has changed into according to the person. If it is a third person, we obviously add for verb yes, es, ies. Is it? So here read is a finite verb. Next, numbers. So there are two types of numbers, singular number, plural number. Is it? Look at the example. He is playing now. Here he is a singular number, so that the verb is singular. Next here, second one sentence, they are playing now. Here they is a plural number, so that the verb also plural form. Is it understand? Is, are called finite verbs. Is it clear? So next Non-finite verbs. This is opposite of finite verb. What is a non-finite verb? Look at here. The non-finite verbs do not have agreement with subject. They do not change as per tense, person and number in the sentence. As before I said you, it is opposite of finite verbs. The action word, which action verb doesn't agree with the subject. They do not change according to the tense, person, number. That verb is called non-finite verbs. But these non-finite verbs can function as adjective or number or noun or adverb. But the non-finite verbs can function means they can appear in the place of adjective or noun or adverb. So look at the examples here. First one, the barking dog is black. Here barking is a verb, but here not showing the action, but here showing the action, showing the state of being is, that is verb is. So here it is in the place of adjective. Here which dog is black? Barking dog. Is it? It is in the place of adjective. So it is non-finite verb. And second one example, look at here. Walking is a good habit. Here walking is a action verb, but here not showing the action. Here it is in the place of noun. Is it? But here main verb is, not walking. So here the word walking is non-finite verb because it doesn't have agree with subject. Itself it is in the place of subject, is it? Rani, third one example. Rani went to Delhi to study. Here study is a verb, action word, but it is in the place of adverb. It is not showing action here, but here action word is went. So it is study is non-finite verb. Is it clear? Okay, to understand better, look at the chart here. A finite verb functions as the main verb in a sentence. So here finite verbs means nothing but main verb in the sentence. It shows tense and agreement with the subject. Look at the examples. We study. We study, it is simple present tense. We studied, it is simple past tense. We will study, simple future tense. We will be studying, continuous future tense. So here study, studied, will study, will be studying. These are finite verbs because they shows tense and agreement with the subject. And look at here, a simple sentence has one finite verb, of course, because a finite verb makes a sentence complete. So without finite verb we cannot make a complete sentence. Is it clear? Next, non-finite verb. A non-finite verb does not show tense. As before I said you, non-finite verbs does not show tense and does not agree with the subject. Is it? Here, look at the example. She asked us to study. Here, asked is a finite verb because it is showing the tense. See, it is in past tense, simple past tense. To study To study, it is in the adverb place, so that here it is non-finite verb. Do you understood? Do you understand the word difference between finite and non-finite verbs? Let us know one more example. Look at here. A non-finite verb cannot stand alone as the main verb in a sentence. So, non-finite verb cannot stand alone. How the main verb stand alone in the sentence, like that it does not stand alone. How? Look at here. My brother cleaning his car. Is it complete sentence, children? Look at the example. Something is missing. What was that? Here, look at here. Here, the verb, main verb. Which main verb? Is. My brother is cleaning his car. Is it? It is incomplete sentence because here main verb is absent. Here main verb is absent, so that it is incomplete sentence. Next one, look at one more example. We add a helping verb to a non-finite verb to make it finite. So look at the example. We study. We studying. Here something missing. What was that? Of course, what is that? Helping verb. If we add a helping word to non-finite verb, it can make finite verb. How? Look at here example. We are studying. So when we add helping verb to finite verb, then we can get finite verb and complete sentence. So here non-finite verb cannot make complete sentence and cannot stand alone. It can take the help of helping verbs. Then it become complete sentence. I hope you understood this topic, finite verbs and non-finite verbs. Dear students, I hope today's topic is very clear to you all. Now take down the homework. Your homework is complete the exercise part which related to this topic in English grammar book as well as in English course book. Is it clear? Okay. So we will meet in the next video. Till then, goodbye. Thank you, my dear students.